To unload the filament, press the button and then select Unload Filament. The printer will next ask you to choose what type of material you're working with. This will select the nozzle temperature. Choose your material and then it will begin to preheat to get the nozzle to the correct temperature. Once the correct temperature is reached, you'll simply press the button again and it'll eject the filament. You can now remove it by simply pulling it out. After unloading the filament, you'll want to grab the spool and you'll want to take the end, and you'll notice that there'll be a little sort of lump at the end, and you'll just want to snip that off with some wire cutters. So I'm just going to take this and snip off the end. And you want to be careful not to let this unravel and then get it tangled within itself. So you always want to hold on to this end here, and you'll notice that there's holes on the actual spool, and you'll just feed it through, and that way it stays secured. And when you get the new filament, what you want to do is the same thing. You want to cut off the little end there. Again, there could be a little bubble or it could be kinked, and if you insert that in the 3D printer, it could jam it. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut off the end there. And then what you want to do is you want to unspool it a few times just to make sure that it's not jammed in there. Okay, so that seems good, and then you want to roll it back up. You know, that way if it is tangled in there, you'll catch it right now, because otherwise you end up sending a print and an hour later it gets jammed because it can't pull it. So you want to make sure that it's not tangled. Always unspool it a few times just to make sure. Okay, now we're ready to load this. So we're going to place it here. We're going to pass it through the little loop over here. And then we're going to insert it into the 3D printer. Giving it a slight pressure down, I'm going to push the button. I'm going to go down to load filament, and you'll feel it, that it'll give it like a slight tug, and you'll feel it coming through, or actually pushing it through. Use a pair of needle nose pliers to remove the extruded filament.